everyone, my name is Monique. Welcome to Monique's Home, and today we're going to talk about raising confident babies. Toddlers, we all really want them to feel good about themselves. We want them to grow up confident in what they can do, confident in themselves so that they're able to really stand up on their own and stand up and do things for themselves when they're older and when they're in big school and you're not with them 24/7. But how do we cultivate this as early as when they're not even sitting up yet, or they're not walking yet, or they're just beginning to talk? The first step is to ask your babies, your toddlers, to cooperate. So this is when you need to get a task done and you're asking them to do it with you. So even if they can't really roll over yet, you're changing diapers, let them cooperate with you, work with you to get that diaper changed. So you could say things like, can you lift your leg up, or please lift your leg up so I can slide the diaper underneath your bum. And even if they can't physically do it yet and you're actually lifting their leg for them, just say it. Just get them used to the language, get them used to you asking them for help to get things done. For example, when they're toddlers and you're helping them put their shirt on, you could say, can you lift your arms up so that we could get you dressed? So let them know what their cooperation will lead to. Instead of just telling them lift your legs up or lift your arms up, let them know what lifting their arms up will do for both of you. Another thing you can do to help raise confident babies and toddlers is to ask them to participate. So with all my 3 kids, the first thing I think they would really make it as their chore is to put their clothes in the hamper. So it touches upon different skills too, like eye-hand coordination, and so a lot of fine and gross motor skills, but really also just building that confidence in them that they can do a task on their own. So this is different from cooperation because you're not doing it together. But after you ask them to cooperate, let's say changing clothes, then get them to bring their dirty clothes into the hamper. So that's something that they can do on their own. You're showing them that you trust them, you trust their abilities to be able to do it on their own, and that just builds on their self-esteem. My third tip is something that I think we all need reminding of once in a while, and that is to encourage our babies, our toddlers, our children without doing things for them. So even as young as those who can't roll over again or who can't crawl yet, observe and just take a step back and watch your baby try to roll over and encourage it, notice it, acknowledge it, and say, I can see you're working really hard to roll over. And sometimes maybe you can lift their back up, but most of the time just let them be and let them find their way. This way, when they are able to roll over on their own, then it builds their self-esteem, it builds their self-confidence because they did it without your help. They were able to accomplish something by themselves. So when they're crawling and, crawling after a ball, or in Matina's case, I remember before, she really loved remotes. I think a lot of babies love remotes. So I would put the remote control in front of her, like a couple of feet in front of her, so it would encourage her to crawl. So, encourage that, empower that, and say, I can see you're working really hard to crawl to that remote control without you doing it for them, without you bringing the remote control closer and closer to them. So the most important thing really in raising confident kids is to have that confidence in them and to show them that you trust them. And we can only do this when we let them discover things for themselves, when they let them explore and not really be hovering over them all the time. So asking our babies to cooperate even when they're not verbal yet, even when they're not really able to do the things that you're asking them to do, is a great way to start, not only for them but for you. It's great practice for you to get used to the language of asking them to do it with you and not doing things for them, because it's really easy to fall into the trap, especially when you're in a hurry, when things are busy, and it's just a lot quicker for you to get things done on your own without asking your child to do things independently or without asking them to do it with you. So that's it for today. Do remember to ask your children to cooperate, ask them to participate, encourage their efforts without doing things for them, and that will really help us raise confident babies and toddlers. I will see you next time. Please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to Monique's Home. I will also see you on Instagram at Monique's Home, on Facebook at Nick's Home, and www.moniqueshome.com. See you next time. Remember to make every day your own version of extraordinary.